Central to achieving the American dream is one element, a job. As I travel around Wyoming and the rest of the country, I hear one refrain more than any other: where are the jobs? You can't blame the American people for being frustrated. Although we have heard a lot of talk about job creation, often this administration's actions have been counterproductive and come at a steep cost to our growing debt and deficit. One of the first was the enactment of the stimulus bill in February 2009, a bill I did not support. This bill cost more than $1 trillion when you add in interest, and was primarily a spending bill funding pet projects, but creating few jobs. The administration has adopted an energy policy that will result in increased prices for Americans by limiting the use of the nation's cheapest, most abundant energy source, coal. The President's decision to allow the EPA to regulate greenhouse gases under the Clean Air Act will kill jobs throughout the country. Additional job-crushing regulations are in the works, and the continued threat of tax increases will continue to paralyze our job creators. Instead of taking actions to create a positive job growth environment, this administration has taken some steps that actually discourage and prevent job growth. One of the driving forces behind these actions is the ideology that every employee should be a union member paying union dues. It's become increasingly clear that when some members of the administration say they want good jobs for everyone, they mean only union jobs. Let me be clear, I fully support the National Labor Relations Act and the right of employees to collectively bargain when they choose to do so. What I do not support is government stepping in to limit employees' ability to exercise their right not to form or join a union. On April 20th, 2011, the National Labor Relations Board, acting general counsel, filed a complaint against the Boeing Company, alleging the company committed an unfair labor practice by opening a new production line for the 787 Dreamliner aircraft at a non-union plant in South Carolina. The complaint argues that Boeing is opening the South Carolina production line in retaliation for past strikes in Washington State by the union there, and seeks to have the second production line moved out of South Carolina to Washington State. The outrage over this agency's attempt to intervene in a U.S. company's legitimate business decision and take jobs away from South Carolina has been very widespread. Employers across the country have been greatly disturbed by this complaint and the possibility that a government bureaucrat serving in an acting capacity could direct U.S. companies about where to locate facilities, what work to do where, and who to hire. Sounds like China, not the United States. This is not the way to encourage new job creation in the United States or even keep the jobs we currently have. Freedom is the quintessential American value: freedom to build a new plant, to create a new job, to join a union, to reject a union. All of these choices are threatened by the National Labor Relations Board complaint. While I hope the complaint will not be ultimately successful as it works through the process, it will create a chilling effect nationwide. With last month's positive job numbers, I hope we're truly at the brink of an actual recovery that will create more jobs and get this country back on track. Job creators are trying to do their part, but as the National Labor Relations Board complaint against Boeing shows, this administration has yet to get the message. We've heard speeches and seen opinion pieces. It's time to see action and real changes in policy. New job creation is the key to preserving this country, to preserving the middle class, to preserving the American dream for future generations.